Hello, hello, sons and daughters of the Most High God. Welcome, welcome. My name is Beloved Rachel of Receive the King Ministries, and this message is called Stay on the Hilltop. Stay on the Hilltop. This is a prophetic word, and the Lord has been bringing to my attention and actually called me to to pray into this. And yeah, this has been like something that I know the Lord's been wanting to share with you. And it's stay on the hilltop. So this message is a call to prayer. This is a call to prayer, and what the Lord has been showing me, and He's been showing this to me for several months, is to pray for the crosses on our hilltops. Okay, especially in the United States, the Lord has shown me this because we do have a lot of crosses on our hilltops. Okay, and I believe that there's going to be some sort of attack on, not like a literal attack, so to speak, but like a more of a like maybe a legalistic attack, a legal attack on our crosses on the hilltops. And the Lord was telling me, do not back down on this. Do not back down. You must hold fast to the victory that we've already won, that you've already won on the hilltop. You know, Yeshua's cross on the hilltop represents, he showed to me when I was reading in, boy, you guys, why do I always do this? Hosea. I was reading in Hosea, and it was talking about how, God was showing, there's many places, okay? There's many places where God talks about how the wicked like to build altars on the mountaintops, on the hilltops. And this really represents, like, you look at Babel, the Lord's showing me, like, looking at Babel, and the Tower of Babel, and how they tried to reach heaven. They tried to, the enemy wants to be able to get as high up to heaven as possible. And it even said that, because were in one accord, and they're all in agreement, and they had one, united purpose, and they had one goal, that it was possible, right? Nothing could stop them. And so he was able to, basically foil their plans by, confusing their language and causing disunity among them because they just couldn't get on the same page. And praise the Lord for that. That's amazing. But over and over and over again, you see that, the enemy is leading people to get up on those mountaintops and, build altars, and to, the enemy wants to be on those high places. And so they want to be lifted up. They want to be, they're the principalities of the rulers of the air, but they are not, they're in the unseen realm. They're in the spiritual realm. So they really don't have the, they don't have authority except that which humans, hand over by coming into agreement with sin, by coming into agreement with the plans of the enemy, by coming into agreement with the ways of the enemy, and by that I mean the adversary, which is Satan, and the unclean spirits, which are like demons, and those rulers and principalities, which are the lowercase g gods. Okay, so and so, the enemy wants to be in the physical realm. The demons, they cannot hear, they cannot see, they cannot touch, they cannot feel. They're blocked out from the physical realm, except that which they, can, piggyback on, having some, some airtime. I don't know. I don't know how to say that. Like, they want to be, they want to be seen. They want to be, they want to be manifested. And so, that's kind of why the Lord is showing me that there is going to be a return of a draw. It's not going to make sense. This doesn't make sense to the natural mind. It doesn't make sense to the logical mind. But many of these things do not make sense. Like, for example, the attack on Jewish people, the Israelites, it doesn't make sense. It only makes sense in the context of the Bible. Why this is like an abnormal, like, totally, like, doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense in the natural. But the fact is that we have to just understand that this is what we're dealing with. It's not comfortable. It doesn't feel good to know that there's an enemy. And so, and it doesn't feel good to imagine that they're going to try to rattle what has already been won, the victory that's already been won. And so, that the enemy is going to try to take those hilltops back, and he cannot be successful in this. We have to stand and pray. And the reason why is so beautiful, and God cares about this. He cares so much about this. This is not just about having a wooden cross or whatever it's made of, the material, it doesn't matter. But it's not about decoration. It's not about, it's not just about remembering Yeshua. It is about remembering Yeshua, but there's even more to it. It's a testimony. It's a testimony of his victory in our country, and it does continue to, he overlooks our country, he overlooks our city, and it represents that. But even more than that, he having a cross on that mountaintop is such a beautiful thing. Especially, like, for example, the Lord showed me how beautiful it is in the United States, where altars had not been erected yet. So these are like almost virgin mountaintops. Okay, that's the way the Lord's showing me. These are virgin mountaintops. The enemy has not had a chance to defile them. And, God came in and claimed them all. He was like, told his people to come and put these crosses on, and that, blocking the enemy from being able to do those practices and build those altars. And, just we've already won the victory. We've already taken those places, those high places, and given them over to the Lord. And so, in that, we have to remember that, our forefathers generations back have already won victory for us, and we forget that we have to fight to hold that victory. And, luckily for us, we have to win the battle in the spiritual realm. But what the Lord is saying is that it's going to manifest a little bit in the natural realm, where the enemy is going to try to take back some of those mountains. But we have to say no to the enemy and say yes to Yeshua, to stand in prayer, to care about these crosses that are on our hilltops, that are displayed in different places. And again, the Lord is reminding me of like Louisiana, and how they're trying to, they're wanting to put the 10 Commandments up in schools. And the Lord is pleased by this. He's pleased by this take back of his schools, his country, and those mountaintops, and even put up more crosses, put up more crosses so that the enemy cannot have any foothold, right? Like, on any high place, that anything that exalts itself against Yeshua has to come down. And so even that creates protection for your city, for your family, for your country, when Yeshua has those high places, that the enemy doesn't have to be torn down out of those places. So continue to pray. Pray for protection over your city. Those crosses that you may get used to, you may love them. I love them. I know me and my children, we love them. We love to see them, but and they hold a dear place in our hearts. But the Lord is saying it's not just nostalgia. It's not just a love, but it's a spiritual protection. It's a covering over your city, over your home, over your family, over your country. So continue to pray that. The Lord's reminding me of like the Empire State Building with the dragon on it. I guess they put up a dragon on the Empire State Building. It's like it's not like I don't think it's a permanent fixture or anything like that, but it's based on it's like trying to basically promote a show that's coming out. And so, but when I saw that, I didn't really look too much into it, but I just saw that they were, putting that up there. And that's a very good example of the way that the enemy is trying to exalt, the serpent, the dragon, the beast. All of these are representations of the enemy, and how the enemy wants to be exalted. Who wants to be on the top of the tall, what was once at one point, the tallest, and it symbolized being the tallest building for a long time. Okay. And so it has the hearts of the American people of being at a high height. Okay. And this is a high place, and the enemy is, the Lord is saying, we need to pray that down, right? We need to pray these things down, because, the enemy likes to be exalted in those high places. And even the representation, when we pull the mask off from behind, what that is, that spirit behind it is from the devil, is from the Antichrist. And the Antichrist is really just, how do I say this? You know, trying to, you know, build a following. You know, you gotta understand that the enemy, the Antichrist isn't going to take its place overnight by happenstance. There's going to be a lot of intentional manipulation and control, and the following is going to happen in advance, right? So and so we see that influence already happening by even allowing that to be put up. Um, Shows that we need to pray, and we need to pray for our high places, because the enemy likes to exalt himself in those high places. So okay, so that's the word for this one. So stay on the hilltop, stay in victory, stay in the victory that's already been won. Do not lose the foothold, that stronghold. Do not give a foothold to the enemy, but continue to stay in faith and fighting for things that in the natural may seem like things that are inconsequential in the natural realm to you know, to take down. It's like how they took down the 10 commandments out of the schools. You know, it had significant consequences because what was replaced? It was replaced by a moral code that, you know, is run by demonic. It's not, if it's not run by God, it's another way. And if it's another way, there's only one way to heaven. There's only one way to God. There's only one way to the Father, and that's through Jesus. That's through Yeshua, our Messiah. Okay? And so, you know, if it's another way, it's not God's way. It's not Yeshua's way. It has to be God's way. Can't be another way. So, yeah, so God loves you. He cares about you. He cares about your city. He cares about your family. He wants to have those coverings over your city. He wants you to be protected. He wants you to have favor as with a shield. He wants you to be lifted up in this season. He says that, you know, you can't really tell the distinction between, you know, God's people and those who are not God's people in the good times, but it's in those times of those challenges, those times of judgment where God's people really stand out, and he causes them to be a light. So he's going to cause you to be a light. He wants your city to stand out as a light. He wants your city to stand out as like what it looks like when God's protection is on you know, on God's people and on a city. He wants to show his glory. He wants, you know, give all the glory. He wants to be exalted in this hour. And he will be. Yeshua will be exalted in this hour. Every knee will bow and every tongue will confess. So God is so good. He loves you so much. He cares about you. He's birthing you into the kingdom right now. Receive the King. He is coming. He is coming to your front door. He's coming to your home. He's coming to your city. He's coming to your country. He's coming to Israel. Yeshua is on his way. He is already here. He's already won the victory, and he's coming now. So God bless you. I love you with the love of Yeshua, and have a great, great day. God bless you. Bye-bye.